The salty air stung my eyes as we huddled together on the rickety boat, its wooden frame groaning under the weight of too many bodies. The inky blackness of the Mediterranean Sea stretched out before us, an endless expanse of uncertainty. My heart hammered against my ribs, echoing the rhythmic slap of the waves against the hull. Beside me, my 2 children, Kofi, 10, and Amara, 8, clung to me, their small bodies trembling with fear. We had left our village in Ghana a week ago, the vibrant colours and familiar smells of home now a distant memory. The journey had been arduous, fraught with danger and uncertainty, but we were determined. Our hope for a better life in Spain fueled our every step, even as the path grew steeper and the risks multiplied. The decision to leave had not been easy. The thought of abandoning our home, our family, our entire lives was agonizing. But the reality of our existence was bleak. Our village was ravaged by drought, our crops failing, our livestock dying. Hunger was a constant companion, its gnawing presence never leaving us. My husband, Kwame, had died a few months ago, his body succumbing to a mysterious illness. With his passing, the last thread of hope for a better future in Ghana had snapped. I knew I had to find a way to provide for my children, to give them a chance at a life free from hunger and despair. We had heard stories of a better life in Spain, a land of opportunity where even those with nothing could build a new life. The stories were whispered in hushed tones, passed from one villager to another, each tale more fantastical than the last. But even a glimmer of hope was enough to ignite a spark in me, a spark that grew into a burning desire to escape our desperate circumstances. We had sold everything we owned, our meagre possessions barely fetching enough to secure passage on the boat. The smuggler, a man with shifty eyes and a slick tongue, had promised us a safe and swift journey to Spain. But as we boarded the overcrowded vessel, I knew we were at the mercy of the sea and the whims of fate. The boat lurched forward, its engine sputtering and coughing as it struggled to propel us through the choppy waves. The children cried out in alarm, their faces pale in the dim light. I held them close, whispering words of comfort and reassurance, though my own heart was heavy with dread. The first few hours were agonizing. The boat pitched and rolled violently, tossing us about like rag dolls. Many of the passengers succumbed to seasickness, their retching and moaning adding to the already unbearable atmosphere. I struggled to keep the children calm, wiping their faces with a damp cloth and offering them sips of water. As the night wore on, the sea grew calmer, the waves subsiding into gentle swells. The children drifted off to sleep, their bodies nestled against mine. I looked out at the vast expanse of water, the stars twinkling above us like a million tiny diamonds. In that moment, I felt a surge of hope. Perhaps we would make it after all. Perhaps we would reach the shores of Spain and begin our new life. But my hope was short-lived. As dawn broke, the engine began to sputter and cough again. The boat slowed to a crawl, its forward momentum lost. Panic spread through the passengers, their voices rising in a chorus of fear and desperation. The smuggler emerged from the cabin, his face grim. He shouted at us to be quiet, but his words were drowned out by the growing clamour. The boat drifted aimlessly, the sun beating down on us mercilessly. Hours turned into days. Our supplies of food and water dwindled, our bodies growing weaker with each passing hour. The children were listless, their eyes dull and sunken. I tried to keep their spirits up, telling them stories of our village and singing them songs from our childhood. But my voice grew weaker, my words faltering as fatigue took hold. On the 5th day, a miracle occurred. A large ship appeared on the horizon, its hull gleaming in the sunlight. The passengers erupted in cheers, waving their arms frantically to attract the ship's attention. The ship changed course, heading towards us. As it drew closer, we could see figures on the deck, their faces filled with concern. The ship slowed to a stop beside us, its crew lowering a ladder. One by one, we climbed aboard the rescue ship, our legs trembling with exhaustion. The children were carried by the crew, their small bodies limp in their arms. I looked back at our boat, its wooden frame bobbing on the waves like a forgotten toy. A wave of sadness washed over me. We had left our home, our lives, everything behind, risking it all for a chance at a better future. But as I looked at my children, their faces pale but their eyes filled with hope, I knew we had made the right decision. We had survived the perilous journey, our spirits unbroken. We were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, together.